Martha, what do you prefer, hot dogs or hamburgers?
Definitely hot dogs. I love hot dogs with the works. It has to have bacon, ketchup, relish, sauerkraut, mustard. Delish.
Sounds awesome.
Toasted bun.
Today, I have invited Kevin Sharkey to have a tasting of the most delicious thing, hot dogs. Look how many hot dogs, just from the tri-state area. And we really have to start eating them because I don't want them cold.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, this looks good. Oh, this is pizza. Onions, peppers, and mozzarella cheese. How weird.
This is super good.
It is?
No, that's really
macaroni
good.
and
That's
cheese.
so good.
Oh, that's a good
Isn't
hot
that
dog.
good?
Hot dog egg rolls?
It's like a pig in a blanket that's been fried.
Yeah, weird.
No. All
That
right.
tasted better. That's like the second course hot dog, because it's a wurst.
Second course?
You know what I'm talking about?
No. No idea.
Look at that.
That looks like a hero
It's sort
sandwich.
of frightening. You want a piece?
Yeah.
Here. What's on it? Pineapple?
Lettuce, ham.
No. What's the white stuff? If you can't identify it,
That's a bad thing.
yeah, what is that?
Turnip.
It's like turnip. I have no
A
idea.
daikon? Is it a daikon radish?
No.
It's weird.
It's weird.
Nah, forget it.
This one has coleslaw on it. That might be good.
That's probably great.
Yeah, I've never had a hot dog with the coleslaw.
Well, that's really good. It's good coleslaw, too.
I like this one. This has all them. Oh, this one looks. I don't know which one to take.
That's good. Do you like that?
Oh, this is so delicious. These are fried. These are
Is that
deep
better?
fried. Yeah, they're really good.
Is that a carrot? It's a carrot.
Oh, for God's sake, it's a carrot.
Forget that.
That one is the same size as that one.
No, that's definitely
It's bigger? No.
Trust me, that's much bigger. That's scary big. I'm afraid to go near that. What's the strangest thing you've ever had on a hot dog?
I think that white stuff. No, that one.
Can I have the ones you guys already eat?
You can have any you want. And the worst thing about a hot dog is if you taste it for the day after you eat it.
Done.
Here to help us make Bulldog hot dogs a great Super Bowl snack are two of the biggest stars in the NFL today. Twin brothers, Tiki and Ronde Barber, who have each played in a Super Bowl. Come on out, guys. Hey! But we have to get down to the recipe because we'll never get this done. I have been cooking a little bit of bacon that's just been cut crosswise into little pieces, and we have to add 1 onion chopped.
Garlic, right?
And then garlic. How much garlic is that? Does it say? It says someplace.
It says 3 cloves.
Okay, so
Garlic
just
chopped.
put that in there,
I think we can do that.
and you have to
that
get
go
it
in here?
all out. Oh, you have to get it all out.
Is that all going to go in here? Or is
No,
this?
that's the same thing.
Oh.
Okay, that's good. And then we have some dried oregano, 1½ teaspoons.
I think that'll fall.
Cumin, you have to have 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1½ teaspoons.
I did it.
2 tablespoons of paprika,
2 tablespoons.
1¼ teaspoons of coarse salt.
Easy.
And then how much cayenne pepper do you want in your chili?
Just a touch.
A touch. Okay.
Perfect.
Excellent.
It won't hurt Tiki too bad. 'Cause he's going to be the one that tries it.
Okay. So that you just saute until on a sort of a medium flame. Can you feel?
Yeah, I can feel it. I'm sweating a little bit. Do I get to do something?
This is the meat that goes in there. As soon as that sautés a little bit, you add the meat
need me to
and
keep stirring?
2 pounds of ground meat,
Throw this
and
in,
then
right?
you can add the harina to the done one. That's the
the done one.
vinegar. See,
Which one's first? Does it
that's
matter?
harina. Yeah, that's finely ground cornmeal.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Does it matter which one goes
So,
first?
do you guys really get along really well?
Sometimes. Depends on if we're playing each other.
Add 2 cups of water, 3 cups of water.
You know, we played each other last season, not this past season, the one before. And I was getting tackled out of bounds. You know, I was going down, and he comes up and throws an elbow right under my chin. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? He said, it's my job. It is. It's his job.
I hit guys like you.
But I'm your brother.
After the game, we can be best friends again.
Exactly.
But,
So see how simple it is to make chili?
am I doing all right?
Yeah, perfect. That has to simmer and simmer until it cooks down. Now this one has to simmer and simmer until it evaporates most of the liquid. And then here you have the finished chili, which can be used as a topping for a really delicious hot dog. On a recent trip to North Carolina, I stopped at a place called the Dog House that specializes in hot dogs with dog-inspired names like the German Shepherd, which is covered in sauerkraut, the Old Yellow, which is smothered in yellow mustard, and of course the Bulldog, which is decked out with lots of chili. We just made some chili, and now, in keeping with the Bulldog theme of our show, we're going to take that chili and make a Bulldog hot dog. You like hot dogs?
I do, but I thought you're supposed to boil them.
Well, we boil them.
Boil them first.
And then we use our tongs to take them out of the boiled water and just brown them a little bit on a griddle. And we're using real good hot dogs. And I like to also brown the buns. Do you like browned buns?
I do.
Yeah.
But toaster ovens work for that too, though, right?
But not really, because you don't want to get this side toasted.
I can't.
You want to do this.
See, I gotta go pick
so
one of
that's
these up.
for you.
Thank you. If I
And
walk home with one of these, my wife will be very impressed.
Here, then you get that. And here
That's
for
what happens
you,
when you have dogs, they fight.
Tiki. And for me, one. And now you have to top it.
Top it.
You want some chili
Where's the
first?
chili? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's try the
Put chili. And I think I'm going to make I want sauerkraut. I love sauerkraut. So for Super Bowl, you can just set out all these toppings and get the real good hot dogs. So that's all you get is a little onion and a little mustard.
Onion, little mustard. All the other stuff will hurt you later.
I love it.
In the world of hot dogs, you might say that my next guest wears the crown. She's known actually as the Queen of Ween, and she also happens to be the president of the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council. There really is such a thing, and here with everything you've ever wanted to know about hot dogs is Janet Riley. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me on, Martha. Hot dogs are actually a sausage, and we see references to sausages dating way back in time, all the way to Homer's Odyssey. And before refrigeration, salting and curing meat was a great way to keep it safe. But now we've got refrigeration, which is terrific. But they burst onto the American scene in the late 1800s when European immigrants brought the sausages and their recipes to make them with them. And they began serving them from what we call dog wagons all along the East Coast.
Dog wagons.
Dog wagons. And originally they were served in natural casings, which are clean sheep intestines.
Right. Yeah.
And so they have the curve.
As sausages still are.
That's right. Some of them are.
Italian sausages are usually in
Absolutely.
a
And they
natural...
have that distinctive bite, when you, that snap when you bite into them. But more commonly, we actually remove the casings. And so we call those skinless wieners, and that's what you've got today.
You've told us that people are always stopping and asking you questions about how hot dogs are made. So we have a little bit of tape that you brought to show the making of the hot dog.
Hot dogs are made from specially selected cuts of meat that you see in your grocer's case, like beef stew meat. And they're blended together in a big chopper into a batter with seasonings like salt and pepper and mustard and garlic. And they go into a smoker after they're put into long strands of casings and pinched at regular intervals. And after they're cooked, we spray them with cold water, and then we strip those casings off into what we call the skinless wiener that you buy today.
Oh, so that's why that's where the casings go. I was worried about where did the casings go? Do they cook off or no?
We actually remove them.
Okay, that's really interesting. Well, Janet's agreed to take questions from our audience, and I bet we have some good questions. Please raise your hand. Okay, there's one.
I'm Connie from Hicksel. I want to know, how does the cheese get into hot dogs?
Oh, interesting question. We actually insert the cheese and the meat at the same time. So the cheese is inserted into the casing in the middle and cooked that way. And so they come out, and then when you reheat them, you've got that great cheesy taste.
Oh, cheesy dogs. Oh,
Thank you very much.
Another question?
Hi, I'm Becca from Bismarck, North Dakota, and I'm wondering, what's the most popular condiment for hot dogs?
Oh, absolutely, mustard is the #1 condiment, with the exception of children. And they prefer ketchup. But I got to tell you, we publish rules of etiquette, and we say never, ever put ketchup on a hot dog after the age of 18.
Why?
Oh, you got to grow up sometimes. And I've been told by police officers in Chicago that you could be arrested for such an offense.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, I still put ketchup on mine if I have the works. If I have just sauerkraut and mustard, it's just sauerkraut and mustard. But once I add relish, I have to have ketchup.
Right.
Well, thank you very, very much. This is a very interesting segment. You learn something new every day, even on a subject like hot dogs. Thanks, Janet. It's really great to have you here. He says people come in droves to taste this top seller at his restaurant, Ditch Plains, right here in New York City. Please welcome Chef Marc Murphy. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell us the story behind this unusual combo.
Well, it started out with, we had just opened the restaurant up, Ditch Plains, and it was sort of a mistake. I asked the guy in the kitchen, we just made the recipe for the mac and cheese, and we came up with that, and then I said, oh, you know, my director of operations said, let me want a hot dog with some cheese on it. And we were sitting down, we were talking about something, and somebody came out with a hot dog with macaroni and cheese on it. We thought, well, this is crazy. And then we thought, well, we'll try it. And we tried it, and we loved it.
Oh, boy.
And then we decided, we didn't put it on the menu. We had it sort of the item on the menu that it wasn't on the menu, but people ordered it if they knew about it. Got to be pretty popular, so we put it on the menu.
So how do you make it?
Well, first of all, you start with a roux. You do a little bit of butter, about 3½ tablespoons of butter, and about 1/3 of a cup of all-purpose flour. And you want your butter to melt, which we've already done right here. And then we add our flour. We're making a classic roux.
A light
You cook
roux.
it for about 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay.
You don't want it to get dark. 2 cups of milk and 2 cups of heavy cream. We mix the two. The cream sort of makes it a little bit more dense, a little richer.
Yeah.
So you bring
That's why
bring
it's
this
so
to
good.
bring this to a
Okay.
low simmer. You pour this in. And you stir it up. This is going to cook for 10, maybe 15 minutes, depends on the heat. So we start by throwing in our American cheese.
Oh, so you have a methodology. Different cheeses.
We're starting
or-
with American cheese.
What if you started
today.
with Parmesan?
I don't think it would be the same thing. Not a big deal. So you want to have a little medium heat after this is cooked a bit.
That looks like such a great cheese sauce.
Then you throw in your Parmesan.
You could do a whole thing just without the macaroni. You could just do hot dogs with cheese sauce. Yum.
Absolutely.
Sort of like a fondue.
Gruyere.
So do you have any other? Do you serve other hot dogs on the menu? Or
We
is
do.
this it?
We do the regular hot dog. They all come with French fries. It's 2 hot dogs to an order.
So will that cook down itself, or do you have to?
You have to. You know what? It depends. Right now, we might have not quite enough heat, but it looks like you can.
Well, we can turn that up
a little bit.
Yeah.
If it doesn't come together, you can then use a stick blender. But it
Okay.
looks like we're probably pretty much there.
I have to
A
keep
little bit
turning
more
these
heat.
hot
Make sure
dogs.
maybe those other ones need to be flipped.
Oh yeah. Oh, these look so good. There.
This is so easy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Then you just throw your macaroni.
This shows your
Yeah.
talents as a great hot dog chef. Yes.
All right, there we go. So now it's nice and mixed together. Can you all see that?
Yes, that's so good. Perfect. What kind of buns?
These are Martin's potato roll.
These look so good. So
We
they're made
also-
with potato?
We serve the lobster roll in here as well.
Oh, this is
They're
so... Do
really-
you toast them when you do the lobster roll?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, but why don't you toast them for the
Well,
hot dog?
I figure there's enough grilled sort of
going
flavor on the hot dog itself.
Okay.
And then it's pretty simple, but pretty good.
Who wants
your
one of
friend enjoys
these? Oh, Kevin wants one. Come on, Kevin. Come on up here.
Come on up.
Yep. Put it on that little plate for him. Oh, you serve 2?
2.
Good.
That's right.
There you go. You won't have
These
to have
look
lunch.
totally eat 2.
Okay, there you go, Kev.
Thank
Taste.
you
Let me
so
know what
much.
There
These
we
are
go.
gorgeous.
Yeah, it's so good. So good.
Well, congratulations
I'm glad you guys
on
liked them.
garnering the most unusual hot dog on our list of favorites. Thanks very much, Marc. Elizabeth is going to show us her hamburger.
Right.
So you use chuck and sirloin.
To me, it's the perfect balance of fat and lean.
This meat also comes from our dear friend Pat LaFreda, who is a sort of meat butcher to every star chef in
And we
New
use
York.
it. Basically, it's just a pound of ground sirloin, and here's the ground chuck. You can see that has more fat, so it came
Yeah.
out of the bowl
Yeah,
very quickly.
Really?
And a tablespoon of Worcestershire. Not a lot, just enough to give it that sort of...
How much salt?
About half a tablespoon. Just a pinch of pepper.
Okay.
And about a teaspoon of dry mustard.
Okay, I love pepper.
And I think the dry mustard is the secret ingredient.
Oh.
So very gently, we're gonna...
You don't really compress it, right?
No, because that will make your burger tough. So I just take a nice size, and we just want to lightly pat it, just like you're doing perfectly. This is a secret that a lot of people don't know. If you take your thumb and make an imprint in the burger, then it'll cook very nice and evenly. And you know how sometimes you go to a barbecue and it looks like, you know, you've got meatballs on your bun instead of a hamburger? But when it cooks, all of the meat fibers will fill that little well, and you'll have a nice, even patty.
Okay.
Now we're just going to give them a little brush with olive oil. I have a motto, and that's oil the food, not the grates.
Oh, so there.
Then let's just put a teeny tiny bit more salt over the top. And I like to do this because it helps with the caramelization and gives it that great crust.
And what kind of cheese do you have cut up there?
Okay, I've got a really beautiful aged cheddar, and I've got a blue cheese.
Should I butter the rolls and you start grilling the
Sure,
hamburgers?
sure.
Okay.
You can butter them, and I'll take these over to the grill.
So this meat is just going on gently, right?
Right. We are going to cook the burgers right now over a direct heat, which means there's fire directly underneath them.
You leave on for how many minutes per side?
About 3 to 4 minutes per side.
Oh, that looks
Ooh,
good.
that's perfect.
Yeah.
Look at those great grill marks.
I'm going to build my burger.
Wow, that looks beautiful.
You'll find this distinctive looking roll stacked high in delis and coffee carts all over New York City. It's chewy on the outside, soft on the inside. They're remarkably easy to make, and they are so much better than store-bought. 6 cups of flour in your mixing bowl. Nice level cups. Not an all-purpose flour for this, but we're using bread flour. Bread flour is best for bread, pretzels, anything chewy and requiring plenty of structure. So to the 6 cups of flour, add 1 tablespoon of coarse salt. This is kosher salt. And you can whisk that together. 1 3/4 cup of lukewarm water. 1 package of active dry yeast. Let this proof in the warm water, and the water should be no hotter than 110 degrees. Be careful about that. Stir that up a little bit. And the idea of proofing is really to test that the yeast is alive, and 1 tablespoon of the best honey. This is from my bees. Very nice flower honey. Let that just proof. You want to see a few bubbles emerging on the surface of the water. This can be put right here on the machine and lock the machine into the water. It looks nice and frothy. Add 2 large eggs. I'm going to break them into the bowl first, mix them up a little bit. So it's a little bit eggy, the dough. And pour this into the flour. And the dough hook will do a very nice job of saving you a lot of effort. And now, when the dough comes away from the bowl like it's doing, add the butter, 4 tablespoons, a tablespoon at a time. Unsalted, room temperature butter. And you see how it just gets incorporated right into the dough. It gets sticky and then it gets very nice and smooth. So it's been kneading for about 4 minutes. It looks very good. It's come away from the bowl. It's all on the dough hook. Release this from the machine and put the dough into a well-buttered bowl to rise until doubled in bulk. And that'll take just about 1 hour. And look how beautiful the dough is. It is developing its texture, rising like this till doubled in bulk. Put it on a floured board. So nice. It is a beautiful texture. It does not stick to the buttered bowl. And you can just fold it into thirds and then fold it into thirds. Again, a letter fold it's called, just like that. And put this fold side down right back into the bowl. Cover again and let rise for the second time, and that's 1 more hour. So here is our dough risen for the second time, and divide the dough into 12 equal pieces. Now you might ask, how does one do that? Well, if you make a rectangle of approximately the same thickness, 12 pieces, you can cut this down the middle. And each of these pieces can be cut into 6 pieces. Always start in the middle. So this is the middle. And into thirds. And in one way you can actually test your dividing skills is to use a scale. And that scale will tell you if your pieces are exactly the same. There. Now the next thing, form our Kaiser rolls. Fold it and roll it. Form a knot like this. So that goes like that, and then this one goes under and through. This one goes over And that's the first Kaiser roll. And keep working quickly so your dough doesn't dry out. Tie it in a knot. It's a lot of fun to work with dough like this. This one goes under and through. There, that is a perfect Kaiser roll. And these are now ready to rise, covered again, in a warm, cozy place. So now, brush very lightly with a beaten egg, just like that. Don't deflate, don't press down hard, and use a very soft, natural brush for this. These can be made ahead of time. You can freeze them, warm them when you're having a big breakfast party. So there, that's ready to go. Some poppy seeds. Poppy seeds tend to have a life of their own. They dance. So just sprinkle all over the roll as much as you like. Have your oven preheated to 350 degrees. And this is going to take anywhere from 30 to 35 minutes. Rotate halfway through. When these are cooled completely, and cool them on a rack right out of the oven, eat it the way you want to eat it. I really do love these rolls. Slathered, oh, look at the great texture inside. Slathered with delicious butter. A nice cup of tea with lemon. That's one way.
One really good grill hint that a lot of weekend warriors don't know about is put the food on the grill and just let it do its work. I think people like to get in there and poke around and move things around, and all that does is cool the grill down so it doesn't cook effectively. Put it on there, let it cook, flip it, and you're ready to go.
Very simply, the difference between grilling and barbecue is this. Think grilling, hot and quick. Barbecue, think low and slow. And after you've mastered that, remember that barbecue can only be done using indirect heat, and it has to be flavored with authentic wood smoke.
I think there's a perception out there with some folks that grilling seafood is hard. Start with some of the easiest items to grill: clams, oysters, and shrimp. Once you get into this, then you can move on to the more complicated, the fillets and the steaks, and then the graduate grilling seafood is the whole fish.
Everyone's been cooking the center of the plate thing for years on a grill, and I think it's time that we kind of give the vegetable a little bit of respect. You could really enhance the flavors of vegetables by caramelizing them.
I developed a recipe for a kimchi butter, which you can put on steak, which is great. So we're going to take 4 tablespoons of salted room temperature butter. Put that in a bowl. 3 tablespoons of kimchi.
Should we chop it up more, or just leave it?
Finely chopped.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
And then I say a tablespoon, but I just put a little tiny bit in there.
Of what?
Of kimchi juice.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we're gonna.
So right out of your own kimchi.
Right out of your own kimchi. So you mash this up together, which is easier said than done. Okay, you don't want it too wet, and.
So tell us, no, I was going to ask you about Korean cuisine in general. What's the most popular and most eaten dish besides kimchi?
Besides kimchi, it would probably have to be, well, beef is very popular now. And that's more recent in our history that regular people are able to afford beef. It was pork before, but mostly protein, bean.
I see. Soybeans.
Yeah. So lots of barbecue is eaten. That has to be the most popular thing in Korea nowadays. So anyway, when you get that all incorporated, you put this in a piece of plastic. We're going to make a roll.
Oh, just roll it, and you can freeze it or chill it, right?
Exactly.
Oh, good.
And it'll keep for a while.
Now we're going to make some steaks. Should I put
Yes.
these on?
Can you put those on for a minute?
Salt, pepper?
Side? Salt, pepper, and then for a little extra kick, we're going to add a little bit of pochocado, which is the red pepper flakes again.
Okay.
Okay, so
rub it in, or?
Yeah, do what you want.
Okay.
Yeah, Korean food's not precise, which is one of the things I love about it. You kind of season to your own taste, your own texture.
Well, everywhere we went, we ate different flavors. I mean, it was quite amazing.
Yeah, isn't it incredible?
Yeah, it's very, very varied, but as I said, there's always. What about some oil too? A little oil?
Yeah, a little sesame oil on there would be
okay.
great. You can't do anything without sesame oil.
Aha.
Okay.
So 4 minutes each side. I did my little kimchi butter log here, which actually turned out pretty good.
So 4 minutes each side. So
Yeah.
we'll let those cook. Now what about hot dogs? I see hot dogs here.
Okay, so hot dogs. Kimchi relish is what we're gonna put on there, which is a little variation. If you like sauerkraut, I think you'll like this kimchi relish.
Okay, now how do we make that?
Okay, so this is a half a cup of chopped kimchi.
Now how often do you eat kimchi?
Every single day.
You do?
Yeah, and my daughter Chloe eats it as well. Oh, by the way, she's
so
waiting
cute.
to hatch one of your chickens.
Oh,
she
okay.
does nothing but talk about chickens, your chickens.
Okay, well she has to come over and visit again.
Definitely.
I loved having her.
So I'm putting 2 teaspoons of rice vinegar.
Okay.
And I would suggest going to an Asian market to get this rice vinegar. It's not the same as some other brands they sell in supermarkets, which I'm not going to mention. Okay, and you give that a little
And
mix.
that's it?
That's it.
Oh, so it's sweet.
Yeah, a little bit sweet,
I like
salty,
that.
savory, a little bit spicy.
And that's for the hot dogs?
That's for the hot dogs.
Oh, well, here
Yeah.
we have 2 freshly
grilled hot dogs. It's one of my favorite foods, I have to say.
I love hot dogs.
I love hot dogs too.
There.
So we're gonna do a little bit of Korean mustard on here.
Oh, we have 2 steaks under here, too.
Oh, they're resting.
Oh. Well, I think I'd
That's
rather
great.
have the fresh steak, wouldn't you?
I would too.
Who wants a
Okay.
steak that's been sitting around?
Yeah, that looks good.
Even for if it looks pretty.
It looks delicious.
Okay.
Okay, so I put a little bit of Korean mustard on there.
That's
it's very hot.
Yeah,
so
I tasted it already.
So
But
you can be
I
generous
love
with this.
hot dogs.
Yeah, me too. It's one of my favorite foods.
Okay, I'm going to have one of these. Oh, my gosh. And you have to have one, too. I'm not going to eat by myself.
Okay, fine. I always talk with my mouth full. That's not good. I hope I didn't put too much mustard on there for you.
I could eat the whole thing.
Okay, good. Great.
We have some audience members.
Oh,
Here.
yay, brave members.
Have you ever tasted it? You've never had. Oh. Here you go. So, what's your name?
I'm Nehemiah.
From where?
Seattle.
And have you ever had kimchi?
Never, but I'm
Never.
very excited to try this.
Okay, well, here's your kimchi on your hot dog. And what's your name?
I'm Sylvia from New York.
Oh, welcome, Sylvia.
Thank you.
And you, my dear?
I'm Juliet from Baltimore.
From Baltimore. Why, we have such diverse locations. Here's your
great.
napkins, if you need them.
Okay, be honest. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, this was on point.
Oh, boy.
Okay, good.
Oh,
Good.
boy. What do you think?
Nice?
Really
Not too
very
spicy?
Good. Not too spicy.
No,
Oh, good.
we were a little worried.
Okay, good.
You were worried?
Yeah, I didn't get the crazy.
Oh, so here, how would you
pepper.
slice up the...
Okay, so we're gonna put some kimchi butter on here.
I don't know if they're hot enough. Wait for these. Put it on here.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, you want to see the melt happen.
Okay, now.
I love it. You just go with the
Oh.
flow.
As I said, I don't want... No, I want to make crisscrosses. Okay.
There
That
you go.
looks
And you let
good.
that melt in there, and it's
Doesn't
really
that
delicious.
look
It's a
amazing?
nice-
This is Pink's. It's been in existence for 62 years. Sometimes there's a 45-minute wait for a guacamole dog, a chili dog, a coleslaw dog, a bacon dog, a who knows what kind. This is my first time at Pink's, but when I saw the line last night, I was intrigued. We drove by on our way to dinner, and I had to have a dog, an LA dog. Well, I'm going to read the menu now and decide what I'm going to eat right now.
I'm Gloria Pink, and Pink's has been a family-owned and operated business since 1939. My mother-in-law and father-in-law, Betty and Paul Pink, borrowed $50 to buy a push cart. Hot dogs were 10 cents, drinks were 5 cents, and they operated on this same site. In 1946, they built this actual building. In the early days, Pink's serviced the studios, Paramount Studios and Charlie Chaplin Studios. And we had lots of struggling actors coming to Pink's. And then when they made it big, you know, like Bill Cosby and Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, they still continued coming to Pink's. Bruce Willis proposed to Demi Moore at Pink's. We have taken hot dogs to the cast and crew of The West Wing several times. Orson Welles holds the all-time record for eating the most chili dogs at one sitting, 18.
Here you go.
We serve about 2,000 hot dogs a day. I mean, sometimes we're serving a dog a second.
I love hot dogs. I ordered a Guadalajara dog that has
relish, onions, tomatoes, sour cream, bacon, and I added sauerkraut. I love sauerkraut.
We've now added over 21 varieties of hot dogs. So now we have a giant 12-inch jalapeno dog, and a bacon dog, and a guacamole dog, and a coleslaw dog, a New York red spicy onion dog, a veggie dog. It's actually a vegan dog. My favorite is probably the bacon dog.
Look at this, Kevin. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
That's what I call hot dogs. Really delicious. Mustard and relish and onions, tomatoes, bacon. Of course, there is a hot dog in there somewhere.
We are so thrilled about Martha Stewart coming to Pink's and having a dog here that we would love to name a dog after her. So the Martha Stewart dog would basically be relish, tomatoes, onions, sauerkraut, bacon, and sour cream.
Martha Stewart dog, please.
Did you make that too?
I want one too. They sound good.
Pink's hot dogs are delicious. When I asked Chris Kimball for a delicious side dish for his crispy, crunchy fried chicken on a picnic, I had no idea how well timed my request was. It seems that over at Cook's Magazine, they've been preparing an entire article on coleslaw for an upcoming issue, so you must know a lot about cabbage.
We went through 50 heads.
What kind of cabbage?
Basic green cabbage. Now, we found there are two problems with cabbages. One is, when you have cabbage that's chopped, you put it in a bowl, you put dressing on it, the salt in the dressing pulls the water out of the cabbage, so you get a very watery dressing. It doesn't adhere.
Yeah, if you leave it around for a while.
It doesn't really work out very well. So I would just take some of the leaves off from the outer leaves. There are lots of ways to do this, but I like to quarter it first. Take some of this off. It's always good to have a sort of flat surface when you're working.
That's a beautiful cabbage.
A good way to core is just to cut off, stand it up, and there's the core. Just take it off like that.
Right.
Take off some of the outer leaves, like that many, and put it down and flatten it. What you really want to do is get a nice even cut and fairly thin. Now, I like a fairly big knife for this.
My grandmother did it in a nice way too. She would take the whole head of cabbage and start slicing like this, you know. And she made her own sauerkraut too. Have you done that yet in the magazine?
No, I would like to do that.
No, you should. It would be so much fun. Now, you want me to do something with the fennel?
No, fennel needs to be
now, fennel in
sliced.
coleslaw, so it goes because it's raw.
Yeah, it has a nice licorice flavor. Put that, and also with an apple, we'll do an apple. Now this gets a little bit of salt. We have a pound, and by the way, a cabbage runs 2 to 3 pounds, a large head of cabbage. You want a pound of cabbage. You put a little bit of salt over it, about a teaspoon of table salt. This is kosher salt. You use about a teaspoon and a half. And that'll sit for a while. And what it'll do is it'll draw out a little bit of the water. So what we have here is coleslaw that has already been sitting. You'll notice it's a little watery.
Oh, yeah, just from salt?
Yeah, just from
No
salt,
water.
and only a teaspoon of salt. And what happens is it feels very wet. There's not a lot of water in the bowl, there's a little bit. And now I'll rinse it off. I want to get the salt off. Now, if you're going to do this and serve it right away, ice water is very good, as it crisps up the cabbage. And then I'll press the cabbage to get rid of some of the water.
I love the smell of fennel.
And I'm going to dry that with paper towels in a second. Next, I will do an apple.
Now, can I make the dressing for you?
Go right ahead.
Okay. And what's the recipe?
Well, we're going to start with some rice wine vinegar, which I know you also like. That has about 2 tablespoons of that, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, roughly.
I love the rice wine vinegar. Why do you like it?
Well, most white vinegar is very harsh. As I said, it has about 7% acidity. Rice wine's about 4%, which I like a lot. Do about a teaspoon of mustard if you want a fancy one.
Okay. And how much honey?
Just a tablespoon.
Okay. All this red onion?
All that red onion. It's about a half of a small red onion, yeah.
And
spread that out.
Any tarragon?
2 teaspoons or so, sure.
Just the leaves?
Just the leaves, please.
I love rice wine vinegar. No, it's funny, I've been using rice wine vinegar for many, many years, ever since I first discovered it.
All the
Oh, okay, we have a lot. Okay.
Put in some of the apple. And now,
it looks very pretty.
Here we go.
Okay. So this can stay for how long?
You should refrigerate it. Actually, it's better refrigerated for a couple hours before serving. It's pretty good for the day. Another day, the next day in the refrigerator, it wilts a little bit too much. What the salt does is it tends to wilt the cabbage just a little bit, but it's still crunchy. It's like a Chinese cabbage. It's crunchy, but a little wilted.
This looks so
And the dressing sticks
delicious.
to the salad pretty well.
Really
Good?
good. No salt and pepper.
You can add a little salt if you want.
I think just a little, not much. Really tasty. I know you have another recipe for coleslaw too.
We do. Same principle.
Yes.
Different recipe.
But with an oriental
Well,
flavor?
it's a confetti slaw, which has a spicy peanut dressing. It's a little unusual. So we've taken a pound of cabbage, shredded it, salted it, let it stand, rinsed it off. We've also added a 1 whole carrot, which is grated. And that carrot was also salted along with the cabbage.
The dressing is really the thing here.
Yeah, the first thing we talk about a little bit is soy sauces. Now, there are really two things. There's shoyu, which is a traditional fermented Japanese soy sauce. There's also tamari, which is a little bit different.
So this must be, that's right.
Yeah, tamari is actually made just from soybeans, and shoyu is made from wheat and soybeans. So we're going to put in a tablespoon of that soy sauce, put in 2 tablespoons of peanut oil, not olive oil.
2 tablespoons?
Uh-huh. Go back to the rice wine vinegar.
He's trusting me not to measure.
I trust you. What? I trust you. Doesn't
How
matter
much?
that much anyway.
How much?
A couple tablespoons. And a little teaspoon of honey. There you go. And we have 2 medium cloves of garlic. We have a little peanut butter as well.
You want that flavor.
You want the salt.
I understand.
And we have half a jalapeno. And we have a small piece of ginger root. That's it.
What a good dressing.
This sounds like my 4-year-old son before dinner. There we are. And now we want to put that on this. We add some scallions too.
I'll scrape that out for you. Oh, does that look good? So this is a very different coleslaw.
Yeah, it's not what you'd bring to the July 4th parade probably in most towns.
But it's good with the chicken.
It's very good. You know, peanut butter sauces are hard because you have to have just the right amount.
Well, this would be a perfect sauce. Let me just taste it, but I think it'd be great for soba noodles.
Yep. Those are just 4 radishes and 4 scallions.
Oh, so it is very much like confetti.
Yeah, looks like it.
Very, very pretty. And because of the soy sauce, no salt?
No, the soy has quite a lot of salt in it. But you can taste it afterwards. You add a little bit if you like.
Looks so great.
How many of you have just walked by these in the grocery store wondering, what is that ugly, ugly duckling? Well, it is a celery root, celeriac in French. It is considered the ugly duckling of the vegetable world, but its wonderful flavor is reminiscent of celery and parsley, and it will win you over. One of its classic uses is in a remoulade, a mayonnaise-based sauce made with mustard, capers, cornichons, which are those sour little pickles, and herbs. And you have to peel a celery root like this, a celeriac, and I just use a good sharp knife to cut down to the beautiful white flesh, taking away all the black. Sort of looks a little bit brain-like when you get into the interior of a celery root. I grow these, and they really have to stay in the garden until after the first frost, and then they can be picked when they are really tender and flavorful. Whoever figured out how to make this into a tasty remoulade should be congratulated, but it is amazing. There. It's really worth it. See how pretty? And it does smell just like hearts of celery. Now use a mandolin, and we're going to slice this as thinly as possible on the mandolin. We tried using the julienne tool, but it just is a little bit too thick to make a beautiful julienne. So I slice them into rounds like this, and then cut the rounds into julienne. Very thin as the slices are thick. Now you can do this early in the day, and you can keep this vegetable, the slices, in an acidulated water, but I find that making it immediately works very well. So let me show you how to make the dressing. The juice of 1 lemon. Now, if a lemon has these points on the stem end and on the bottom, just cut those points off. I find that if you do that and use one of these juicers, you will get more juice out of the lemon. Little tricks like that save money, save time. You get all the juice out. You get more pressure on the lemon. There. And to the lemon juice, 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. You can make your own mayonnaise, or you can buy a good quality mayonnaise. 1/4 cup of creme fraiche. That is the French sour cream. You can chop up very finely 12 cornichons. Those are the sour gherkins. Cornichons. 1 teaspoon of chopped fresh tarragon. 1 teaspoon of chopped capers, those salty little caper berries, and a tablespoon of chopped parsley. So that's basically the ingredients for a remoulade. And don't forget a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, some salt, I would say approximately 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and a good pinch of black pepper. You can just stir in your julienne celeriac. Refrigerate. This has to be served really cold. Once you make this delicious salad, you will make it again and again and again. Now, to serve celery root remoulade, make a little bed of a soft lettuce, like a limestone lettuce or a Bibb lettuce or a Boston lettuce, and serve your celery remoulade right on top. And you have a salad worthy of any bistro anywhere, but especially in France. I think you'll enjoy celery remoulade. Now we're going to spatchcock a chicken. This funny word, spatchcocking, is believed to be an abbreviation of dispatch the cock, which was shorthand for prepare the chicken for roasting over a spit. I just find it very amusing, and everyone loves to think of what does spatchcocking mean and what does it do? Well, I'm going to show you. I have 2 ways to spatchcock when you keep the breast in the center by taking out the backbone, and this is very easy to do if you have a good pair of kitchen shears. Just cut along the side of the backbone. Takes a little bit of elbow grease, and you remove the entire backbone. This backbone will go right into the stock pot, so don't feel bad, you're not wasting it. There. Well, we'll put it here now, and that'll go into the stock pot. And then you will flatten the chicken like this and press down on the breastbone, and that is a spatchcock bird. And so it's all pretty even. You can trim the skin if you like, but I love skin so much that I leave all the skin on. And that is one version of a spatchcock chicken. And then there is the other way, which some restaurants prefer to do, which is cutting down the breast. Cutting this right in half along the breastbone and through the wishbone. And it makes a very different looking object. Now you can take this breastbone out. I don't know if you've seen the breastbone, but this is what it looks like. This is a piece of grizzly bone that holds that part of the breast out. That's the breastbone. And so now you can flatten this, and it looks like that. And you can tuck the wings under. And this too cooks very nicely. So you can choose. You can do both if you're doing more than one chicken. So we're going to make a nice marinade by putting 1 medium onion into a blender jar with 1/2 cup of parsley, 2 teaspoons of thyme, 2 tablespoons of sage, the skin from half of a lemon, 2 cloves of garlic, and 1/4 cup of olive oil. Make sure you get all that olive oil out. And just blend this until it makes a nice thick paste. It's a nice green color. Gorgeous. It smells so good. There. So now this is going to go first under the breast of the chicken, and you can put the chicken right in a resealable plastic bag. This chicken is going to stay in here for 8 hours or overnight. It just really makes the meat extremely flavorful. Loosen the skin from the breast and use your rubber spatula to insert this right under the skin. And then the rest of the marinade can just go right into the bag, front and back. Seal up the bag, put this on a tray, and refrigerate. So this is the fun part, wrapping the bricks. This chicken, the spatchcock chicken, is cooked under bricks. And you don't want to put just a raw brick on top of your chicken. So wrap it in aluminum foil, roll it in a piece of heavy-duty aluminum, sealing the brick in completely. And then oil the brick a little bit before you lay it on top of your bird. So for a chicken this size, you really do need 2 bricks. And these are reusable. You can use them over and over again. Just change the foil. The chicken itself, well, it's been wiped clean of the excess marinade, and rub a little bit of oil on it. You need to prevent it from sticking on the grill. We're using a grill pan that sits right on top of the stove, and a tiny bit of olive oil on the grill pan too. You can do this in the oven. You can do this on a grill outside. Now just pick up your chicken, put it skin side down, and apply your bricks. The bricks really are to hold it flat and promote even cooking. Now, if you don't have bricks, and many of us don't, you can use a large skillet, oil the bottom, and you can weight it down with cans and other heavy things. So it's been 30 minutes on the skin side. Just remove the bricks and turn the chicken over if it releases easily from the grill. And this one is releasing very nicely. So whichever way you feel comfortable churning it with a pair of tongs and a fork, such as this. Doesn't that look amazing? So great. Oh, I love it. And now put the bricks back on. And finish cooking. It might take another 20 to 30 minutes, but test with your instant read thermometer to 165 degrees. If you don't have one of these wonderful stovetop grill pans, you should really get one. They really work well. Great for hamburgers too, because all the fat melts off and goes down in those little gullies. So we're going to continue to cook this for another 20 to 30 minutes. Now, once your chicken is perfectly cooked, just let it cool for about 10 minutes. Not really cool, but rest. This will let the juices redistribute. You can carve it on the board, or you can put it on a platter like this. Garnish it with a few halves of lemon, a little flaky salt on top, a little squeeze of lemon juice overall. And you have a very simple technique which will give you perfectly cooked chicken each and every time. It is a new old way to cook chicken. See you next time. Enjoy.